Vamos a darle un minuto a nuestros participantes para que nos acompañen. Welcome to the Path to College presentation. Gracias por estar aquí para la presentación En Camino a la Universidad, traída a ustedes por Charlas Tecnológicas y Más. Tech Talks and More brings you the Path to College this afternoon. Thank you for being here. Next slide, Dr. Burton, and thank you.
Once again, thank you for joining us. During today's session, I'd like to inform you that we will be presenting in English. We also have simultaneous translation in Spanish. To listen to this presentation in English or in Spanish, please click on the globe icon at the bottom of the screen. You will select the language of preference for you. You will engage and listen to the presentation in the language you select. Una vez más, muchas gracias por conectar hoy con nosotros. Quería informarles que durante nuestra sesión tendremos interpretación simultánea en español. Esta sesión se presentará en inglés. Usted puede escoger el lenguaje de su preferencia. Haga clic en el símbolo del mundo en la parte inferior de su pantalla. Seleccione el idioma que le gustaría escuchar. Participará y escuchará la presentación en el idioma que seleccione. Next. For today's presentation, we will all be participating in this Zoom webinar session. During the presentation, you can ask questions of our panelists. We will also have a short Q&A as time permits at the end of the session. If you look at the bottom of your screen, there is a Q&A icon. You can pose your questions there and then wait for an answer. Again, we will also be responding to some of the questions as time permits at the end of the session.
Good afternoon, parents, guardians, and stakeholders of LDC. My name is Dr. Burton, and I welcome you tonight to the Path to College. This is a quote that I thought would be very monumental to what we're about to talk about tonight, and it's every mountaintop is within reach if you just keep climbing, by Barry Finklay. Tonight, I will be presenting. I am the A through G Intervention Coordinator for Local District Central, and I have my great colleague who is an academic and college counselor, Robert Aguirre. Robert, can you say a little something to the parents and guardians?
Good afternoon or good evening. I'm not sure what time we're at right now. Thank you for having me, Jonique. I appreciate you allowing me to be here and to present alongside of you and support the local district central families with their college going and readiness.
I appreciate that, Robert. And I just want to say, Robert is one of our excellent college counselors and academic counselors at Contreras Learning Center, School of Business and Tourism. And last year was my first year with LDC. And Robert welcomed me in, made sure that I knew everything that I needed to know. And he is a great asset to the local district central team. And I'm grateful to have him, and I'm great that he's a part of our team. So thank you, Robert. So today we are going to have the table of contents where we're going to talk about 4 important things on the topic of path to college. We're going to talk about the graduation requirements. We're going to talk about the plan for college. We're going to talk about how students should find their perfect, or I'm not going to say perfect, suitable college math match. And then we're going to talk about the LA Unified Senior College Journal that was devised for us by LA Unified. So we have, as you all probably know, parents of high schoolers or middle schoolers, the A through G graduation requirements. And we're going to watch a little video right here that talks about the A through G graduation requirements. And this video is put in production by LA Unified.
A high school diploma is one of the most important milestones as you approach adulthood. It's the culmination of your elementary, middle, and high school education experiences that launch you to further success. It acts as a bridge to your college and career aspirations. With a high school diploma, you have choices. In order to earn a high school diploma, students must complete the minimum graduation requirements set by the California Department of Education and the Los Angeles Unified School District. In order to ensure students are prepared to succeed in their choice of college and career, LAUSD has included the A through G course requirements for California State University admission. A through G refers to the list of 7 high school course categories that students are required to pass to be considered for admission to the University of California and California State University systems. Students must meet the graduation course requirements with a D or better in order to earn a high school diploma. However, in order to be eligible to apply to a California State University, CSU, or University of California, UC, students must complete the A through G courses with a C or better. The A stands for the History Social Sciences requirement. While the CSU system requires 2 years of coursework in this area, the California Department of Education requires that students take 3 years, which must include a year of modern world history, 1 year of U.S. history, a semester of Principles of American Democracy, and a semester of economics. These 4 history social science courses satisfy both the California Department of Education requirement, the A requirement, and the G requirement that you will hear about in just a moment. The B stands for English requirement. Students are required to take 4 years of English. The typical courses at each grade level include English 9AB in the 9th grade, English 10AB in the 10th grade, a semester of contemporary composition, and a semester of American literature in the 11th grade, and a semester of expository composition and a semester of world literature, or a year of the expository reading and writing course in the 12th grade. The C stands for the math requirement. Students must complete at least 3 years of math in grades 9 through 11. The typical course sequence is 1 year of Algebra 1, 1 year of Geometry, and 1 year of Algebra 2. There are possible alternate courses in math which satisfy the requirement. Some students complete Algebra 1 in middle school. However, they must still complete 3 years of math in grades 9 through 11. The D stands for the Laboratory Sciences requirement. 2 years of laboratory sciences are required, 1 year of a physical science and 1 year of a biological science. The E stands for the Language Other than English requirement. Students must take 2 years of the same language to fulfill this requirement, such as 2 years of Spanish, 2 years of French, or 2 years of American Sign Language. The E requirement may also be completed in middle school or through a proficiency examination. The F stands for the Visual and Performing Arts requirement. Students must take 1 year of visual and performing arts courses that are within the same discipline of art, dance, music, or drama. The G stands for College Preparatory Electives requirement. Students must take at least 1 year of college preparatory electives. Remember that a semester of economics from the History Social Science category is identified as a G requirement by the California State University system. Let's summarize the A through G course categories and years required to graduate from LAUSD. A refers to History Social Science, 3 years. B refers to English, 4 years. C refers to Math, 3 years. D refers to Laboratory Sciences, 2 years. E refers to Language Other than English, 2 years. F refers to visual and performing arts, 1 year. G refers to college prep electives, 1 year. While these summarize the A through G requirements for graduation, don't forget about the additional requirements for graduation. Students must take 2 years of physical education. All 9th grade students are expected to participate in the mandated California Physical Performance Test. Students must pass 5 out of 6 assessments in the healthy fitness zone of the fitnessgram, or they must continue to take the appropriate physical education courses each semester until they meet the passing requirement. Students must complete a 1-semester health course. In meetings with counselors, 9th grade students evaluate their interests and abilities and identify a career pathway to pursue, such as medicine and health, arts and media, engineering and design, fashion and interior design, information technology, or finance and business, just to name a few. Before the end of their 12th grade year, students must complete a service learning experience that is integrated into the academic course curriculum. Students learn and develop important skills through active participation in high-quality service that meets the needs of a community. Finally, students are required to obtain a total of 210 credits in order to graduate. Students receive 5 numerical credits for semester courses and 10 numerical credits for year-long courses passed with a grade of D or better. Students promote from one grade level to the next based on the number of numerical credits earned. Students need 50 credits to promote to 10th grade, 105 to promote to 11th grade, 160 credits to promote to the 12th grade, and 210 in order to graduate. These are the requirements to earn a high school diploma from LAUSD. If you have questions or would like more information, please make an appointment to meet with your counselor. Meeting with your counselor and completing your individual graduation plan each year is an important step to staying informed and on track for graduation.
Thank you for watching the A through G graduation requirement video. I know that you probably have a lot of questions. It seems like a lot of work that needs to be done for students to graduate. But once kids get involved and get in school, it will not be as tedious as the video, but it will be sequential and kids will understand what is happening. And what they said as we were going through the A through G graduation requirement video, it spoke about IGPs. The individual graduation plan is very important. And when students meet with their counselor, the counselor will go over the IGP with the student as well as with the parent or guardian to talk about what steps are next, what classes needs to be taken in order for graduation. So the IGP portion of a student meeting with their counselor, it's very important.
A high school diploma is one of the most...
Sorry. So this is what we just watched, and now this is on one slide where you see 9th grade, the expectations, what they talked about, the 50 credits. 10th grade, it talked about the 105 credits at the end of 10th grade. 11th grade, 160 credits. In 12th grade, in order to graduate, 210. And these are the minimum requirements for graduation, because as you heard in the video, there are additional steps needed for graduation, such as health, such as career pathway, such as the, help me out, Robert, I'm missing one. I said career pathway, health.
Service learning.
Service learning, thank you, service learning. That is so important. We want our kids to be civic minded, social action, and we want them to be involved in service learning. That is correct. Thank you, Robert. So this is a little bit more details of the ABCs of the A through G course sequence, and it's the pathway to college and career. We know that we are setting our kids up. We are making sure that they have everything that is necessary for them to not only graduate from high school, but to also pursue a post-secondary education in college and or university. And we're also setting our kids up for career readiness. So we are instilling into our students all of the above. And with all of the A through G requirements with our Common Core, California Common Core state standards, we know that our kids will be ready for college and for a career. So these are the non-course requirements that we were talking about: the service learning, the career pathway, having that numerical credit requirement of a 210. So I want you to take 30 seconds just to read over them, just to make sure that you were able to pick up on what the video stated, as well as what I just stated in the previous slide about they're non-course requirements, but they are required for you to graduate from high school. Thank you. I know that you're writing down many questions, and I hope that you'll have many questions at the end of the presentation about service learning, career pathway, and how your student will get to that numerical credit requirement. And Robert and myself will be here to answer all of those questions. Now let's get to the fun part, what all parents and guardians want to know. How do I plan for college for my kid? How do I make sure that I am doing the necessary steps for my child to enter into college? So we're going to take a look at that, and we're going to just look at some tips. These are some tips that myself and Robert, we were able to write down because we know the importance of having a plan together for your kid to go to college. So the first thing that we decided to write about is develop a resume of all your accomplishments. And what I mean, or what we mean by develop a resume, is of all the accomplishments that your child has earned, maybe let's say from middle school to high school, write them down. If they were the soccer champ, if they was a leader in a church or a synagogue, or in a religious activity, if they volunteered with Girl Scouts, if they volunteered with Girls and Boys Club, whatever accomplishments that they earned, especially in leadership roles, colleges love to see that on their resume. Also, prepare to start writing a college essay. And Robert can talk about that a little bit more. Certain colleges require a written essay. So find something, and all of our kids have gone through COVID, or they're going through COVID right now, the pandemic, being away from school, physical school for a year. Ask your child, how did it feel? How did you overcome that? Or how are you overcoming that now? Write something that is meaningful, something that happened as a child. But in that essay, try to convey to the university something that is meaningful in your reason and your why of why you want to attend college, and how attending college will help you to be a better person. Also, find a teacher, counselor, school administrator, clergy, someone in the community to write you a letter of recommendation. It is always good to have that additional letter of recommendation. Some colleges may not even ask for it, but when I went to college, I included recommendation letters into my college packet because I wanted to stand out from the rest of the students. I wanted to let them know, outside of my academic and athletic ability, these are the things that I'm doing. I was volunteering. I was working with a special needs day camp, and during the day in the summertime. So I wanted colleges to know my interest in where I was as a high school student, and how I would be an asset to that college. So think about that when you're thinking about your essay, and then getting that letter of recommendation, and making sure all that tied together. Also, right now we're in a virtual space. So this is like the best time to take those, to do the college visits. And what I mean by that is that there's a lot of colleges that are doing virtual tours right now. So try to find a college, ask your counselors about those virtual college visits. And even if you don't have the money to fly to London or fly to New York or fly other places, speak to your college counselor or your academic counselors about the opportunity to meet with colleges that are coming to your school or nearby schools, or may have a college fair nearby. Also, one of the important things is SAT and ACT. It is very imperative that you take those college entrance exams unless you're going to a school that is not required. So you need to make sure that you are knowing the requirements of the schools before you apply, so you can know, do I need to have an ACT, SAT score, or can I just enter into the college without it? The next thing, since it's October the 6th, is complete the FAFSA and the CADA. And right now, and I see Mr. Aguirre, he's shaking his head like that. At the end of last year, we were like crazy with FAFSA and CADA trying to get our numbers up, because we know that can stop a child, or let me not call you children, but that can stop a young adult from going to college. You want to have every financial benefit necessary, whether it's a Pell Grant, whether you have to get a loan, whether you have to get work study. We very seldom talk about work study, but work study is very important. I did work study. I see Mr. Aguirre is shaking his head. You know, you work at the campus while you're in college. You can do your schoolwork if you have a job like that. I was at a desk and you get paid, but that helps you to supplement your tuition or your book money or your room and board, whatever it is for college. So work study also comes with that financial aid packet. So apply for FAFSA and CADA and make sure you have all the documents. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more, but I'm trying to go through because I get so excited and I don't want to run out of time. But another thing is to set up an account with CSAC. So CSAC, it has everything on it. And we're going to go into detail later about what CSAC is, and that you could also go through CSAC to get to your FAFSA and CADA application. Am I correct, Mr. Aguirre? Yes, you can go through go ahead.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Yes, you can go through CSAC, but CSAC, California Student Aid Commission, CSAC is an amazing website. They have webinars on how to complete FAFSA and CADA. Even if you're undocumented, they have all of that information on there. And last year, Mr. Aguirre and myself and some other counselors, we helped a lot of students get through that, and they were very, very happy for that. So right here is the CSAC. Mr. Aguirre, can you put the csac.ca.gov in the chat so parents can have it before they get this live or recording, because I want them to probably look at that. When you on csac.ca.gov site, they are workshops, Cash for College. Very, very, very good workshop, Cash for College. Our students last year who graduated in the class of 2021, who are now in college, they went on that site. I mean, they were like, oh, Dr. Burton, it's amazing that we were able to go to a Cash for College workshop and we're able to learn about various financial ways for us to get into college. So like I said, this is a recording, so you will have all of this information, but I really want you to look at CSAC before you go to bed tonight. So the financial resources that I just spoke about was FAFSA, and this is what the login looks like. I want you to see when it says an official website of the United States government, because sometimes FAFSA you'll go on it and sometimes it'll say you have to pay. You do not have to pay to complete your FAFSA application. I'm going to repeat, you do not have to pay to do your FAFSA application. My apologies. So do not pay to do your FAFSA application. Here's my favorite, Cash for College. This is my favorite. This is the CSAC website. And then you can go to all of these different workshops. And I wanted to make it interactive so you can see different workshops, and you would put in where we are now. Let's put in Los Angeles. So there's East Los Angeles College, Collegiate Charter High School in Los Angeles, 1013 and 1023. But like I said, if you go to CSAC, and they'll tell you what to bring to a Cash for College workshop. The FSAID, for anybody filing FAFSA, you must get an FSAID first. This is the first thing. I hope you can see the cursor. Mr. Aguirre, can you see this cursor that I'm doing this?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, good. Bring that driver's license if you have one. All of this information is important. If you're going to a Cash for College workshop, because they will tell you. Also, if you're looking for a workshop, you can enter your email address in this box and everything will come up for you. I'm telling you, it's amazing. It's a plethora of information. So here goes the California Promise Grant. So, Mr. Aguirre, will you talk about the California Promise Grant to our families, please?
Absolutely, yes. So we're in a very fortunate situation living in California because of this College Promise Grant, where students can receive 2 years at a community college for free. For example, our students are LA Unified student graduates. Once they have their diploma from LA Unified, are able to go to a local community college and study for 2 years. And that gives them time to focus on their academics and make sure they persist and either earn that certificate, earn that degree, or also transfer to a 4-year college or university. So it's a great opportunity that all of our students are eligible for once they have their diploma.
Thank you, Mr. Aguirre. Is it a certain GPA that the students need for the California College Promise Grant, or is it just a high school diploma?
It's the high school diploma, but we also want to make sure they have a competitive GPA to be eligible for more additional financial aid.
That is very interesting. So families, that right there, you want to keep that GPA up, and the GPA stands for what, Mr. Aguirre?
That's your grade point average.
Grade point average, and you're going to see that on the transcript. I can't show a transcript right now because it's privacy, but that grade point average is very important. Now, I put number 4, community scholarships, is because there are a plethora of community scholarships. And what I always tell students when I talk to students about the pathway to college, reach out to your clergy, meaning your church, your synagogue, your temple. Reach out to your community senators, congressmen, councilmen or councilwomen or congresswomen in your area. Reach out to the community leaders, the people who own Chick-fil-A, the people who own McDonald's. Nothing beats a failure but a try. All they can tell you is yes or no, we'll give you a scholarship, but you never know. And also talk to your counselor. Make sure you develop a relationship with your counselor where your counselor know you. Like, they knew Jonique. When I walked into my counselor's office 3 years ago, no, I'm just playing, a bunch of years ago, they knew Jonique, because I was like, I need money because I went to school out of state and I needed money because I had out of state fees. That's another thing. So please make sure that you develop a relationship with your guidance counselor, academic counselor, or your college counselor, so that you could tap into all of those scholarships. And one thing that families have that I didn't have is Google. You can Google anything. You can Google a left-handed scholarship. You can Google right-handed scholarship. You can Google blonde hair scholarship. You can Google people who wear glasses scholarship. Any category, you would be surprised. And there's a lot of good philanthropy going on where people are willing to give. So please tap into it. I wish I had all the answers for all of the money, but I'm telling you, it's out there, but you have to hustle, and you have to hustle to get it. Am I correct, Mr. Aguirre?
Yes, and I think one thing I wanted to add to that is it's important that students and families don't wait until they're applying to college in 12th grade That process should start now, whether you're in 8th grade or anywhere to 12th grade. That process of looking for money, it's out there. You just have to find it.
Thank you, Mr. Aguirre. So one thing, I have a son that's 7, he's 7 3/4 is what he says. And when I talk to college representative now, I'm like, look, my son wants to go to this school. What can we do? And they're like, Dr. Burton, he's only 7. I'm like, I don't care. I'm looking now. I want to know where I need to tap into because I want my son in a certain college. So I'm preparing. So, but parents, don't think that just because I'm starting at 7, you're too late, but you're not. You can start now and let's work it out before January, but we're going to get there. All right. So today's October 6th. So now everyone on this line, by the end of the week, your homework is to complete FAFSA and CADA. If you need help, contact the guidance, your academic counselors or your college counselor at your school. You're more than welcome to email me and we'll have all of that information at the end of the presentation. But the first step for a FAFSA is to create a FSA ID, not for the CADA, but for the FAFSA. I put the CSAC information again, and I also put the FAFSA Dream Act PDF, and I'm going to pull that up because that's a little bit different than what we saw earlier. It's just a flyer that says financial aid, FAFSA, or California Dream Act. It helps you pay for college tuition. The application is open starting on October the 1st through March the 2nd. They give you my favorite website once again, cashforcollege.csac, and they give you my other favorite website, csac.ca.gov. So what is your homework? Repeat after me. Complete the FAFSA and CADA by the end of the week. Yay, we're excited. We can't wait. Because let me tell you something, every Monday, I check the numbers and I'm looking like, okay, LDC, local district central. Oh, we're increasing. I'll call Robert. Robert, we got more kids. It's exciting to see families investing into their children and making sure that their children have that first step for college and or universities. Now, finding your college match. This is I didn't know this when I was going to college. I'm not going to even tell you why I went to the college I went to, because you'll be like, it's a little crazy, but finding your college match is very, very important because now, there are a plethora of majors. There's a plethora of reasons why you want to go. But one thing I'm going to suggest, and you'll have, I don't know where we'll be able to find this, but I'm sure we'll be able to send this out, but it's a college search and comparison chart. And I found this online and the colors are really pretty. And what you would have to do is like go to file and make a copy. But what you can do in this chart is you can put down like a school like Oregon State. And then you can put, is it a state university? Is it a community college? Is it a liberal arts college? Is it a military academy? Or is it an Ivy League college? And then you can go put another school here. But then you can put, what's the school total enrollment? What's the percentage of applicants selected? What's the reading range for SAT? What's the math range? And you can go on and on. But the thing I like about this, and I didn't do it when I was getting ready to go to college, it allows you as a family to sit down to discuss what is the best match for you. It allows you and your family to say, college one, it's a little expensive, but then college two, it's community college. And I know if I do 2 years there for free, I can transfer with 2 more years to another school. Or if I do college 3, well, I know I got accepted into that Cal State, and then I know I'm going to get this amount of money if I go there. And I'm only got to pay $1,000 additional a semester. I'm just giving you some scenarios. But this right here, this is one of the charts that you can use when you're trying to decide on which college. And I want to share this because I didn't have it. And I'm definitely going to use something like this when my kids get ready to go to college. So another one that I brought up is another template. I got a lot of templates. And this is another one. This is a little bit easier. I like the colors, but you would put the location, the rank, web address, the size, colleges and schools. And what they mean by colleges is the College of Education. College of Medicine, College of this, College of that. And then you will put the address, application fees, the requirements. This is very important. Sometimes kids want to go to, like, they'll have a 2.5 GPA and they'll have a, I'm just making this up, a 20 on the ACT, but they want to go to a college where the recommendation is a 25 or a, let's just say 28, and the GPA requirement is a 3.2. So, I mean, am I saying that they cannot get in? No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that they have a requirement. You don't meet the requirement. Let's try some other schools. So that's why you want to list this. I always tell kids to list a college you know you're going to get into, a college that a little bit above you, but you're saying, if I submit a good essay that I'll make it, or a college that you say, I know I will not, like, I don't have the requirements. So it's like a low, medium, and high, 3. Some people apply to 15, but I'm just saying, I believe in a low, medium, and high, okay? I'm gonna move on to the next one. It's also a match spreadsheet. It's not as pretty as the first one, but it's there with the basics of the deadlines, the academics. Another thing about the deadlines, this is important, families. Senior year, a lot of kids get senioritis. Parents get senioritis. But if you have the deadlines here and you put a little notification in your cell phone, it will make it so much easier that you're able to, go to your cell phone and say, oh, my Cal State, it's due. Oh, my UC is due. And that will allow you to not forget that it is due, okay? So, Senior College Journal. I'm going to run through, this is the last part of the presentation because I really do want to give at least 15 minutes for us to discuss, have questions, and for us to tear into these questions. This Senior College Journal, every student in the class of 2022 should have received this Senior College Journal. And I'm going to go through it, a little bit of it. It's so pretty. Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. So it says, welcome to your senior year. What college is right for me? That's the match. How do I apply? We talked about that. And how do I pay for college? We talked about that. So this page is the index, and it talks about the path to college, preparing, applying, paying, and after applying. Now, we didn't talk about after applying. That might be the next session, right, Ms. Manzan? After applying, what do we do in committing to college? But there's a map of colleges in California following the advice page, but it talks about your game plan. Like, what is your game plan? Like, what do I need to do? And this talks about some of the steps that I already had in the steps, but I kind of compiled them together. But this is the game plan. And this is 70 pages, and we're not going to take a lot of time to go through everything, but this has the fall game plan, and it also has the winter. And for fall, it's August to December, and winter is that January, I'm going to say second semester. And it tells you, do not let senioritis get in your way of finishing strong. You have to finish strong, seniors, senior parents, we have to finish strong. So after we talk about that, they have a spring senior year game plan. So I was wrong, winter is a different time period. Then they have the summer senior year game plan. So we have Naviance. And the reason why I didn't discuss Naviance, because we have, we're making, a lot of schools are using Naviance as a game changer for college access applications. But I'm going to say right now, I didn't want to talk about Naviance because we collectively, we haven't met collectively as a unit to discuss the Naviance plans for 21-22 coming out of the pandemic. But some schools are moving forward with Naviance right now. So please ask your school counselors about Naviance and the game plan for college and to manage their college applications using the tool of Naviance. There's a senior year task checklist. How LAUSD students log into Naviance. Being on track for graduation, and we talked about that. Are you taking the correct courses? Have you completed your service learning project? Have you selected your career pathway? Are you on track to meet the 210 credits needed to graduate? We talked about the finding your college match and fit. You can use this sheet or you can use the one that I have on there. Now, this is something that I didn't make as a topic, but in the next 2 minutes, I want to talk about this, and then we'll go into questions and answers. What does your social media say about you? This is very important. Now, I'm speaking as a mother, not as Dr. Burton, but as Mama Jonique. Your social media is very important. When others look you up online, what does it say about you? I don't want everybody to answer right now. Just think about that. The things that you repost or retweet, be careful with that, because sometimes colleges, especially if you're going to a private college, they're going to look at that. A smaller college, they're going to look at that. And as you move on to becoming an adult, you want to be careful about your social media presence. So anything bad on there, you better go and remove it before you apply to those colleges. But I want you to just be careful. Watch the name you use. Keep it simple and professional. Even with your email address. Your email address shouldn't say scooby-doo104@gmail.com. Scooby-Doo? No, it should say Robert Aguirre or Robert Aguirre 25, because he's 25. No, I'm just playing. Robert, he said he'll take that number. So mine just say Jonique Burton, but yours should just be your name or initials or something, a number that you like. But make sure that it's very simple and professional, especially when you're starting to apply for jobs. But that social media presence is very, very important. Check your privacy settings, monitor your privacy settings, curate your online photo libraries. Then Google yourself. It's okay, Google yourself. I love to Google myself to see what comes up. And that is very important. And the last thing, and I know I didn't say, I said we were going to stop at that one because we're now at 4:15. Take care of yourself. This is a very intense time of what college you're going to attend. Your senior year, it's a remarkable year, especially for parents. I've never been a parent of a senior, but I am an aunt, and I had a senior in my house. Watching the mood swings, parents, guardians, just be easy with the kids. They're going through a lot. Remember when we were seniors at 18? It was just like last week, we could remember it. But take care of yourself, students, and remember that we are here for you. LDC will assist and support you in whatever you need. Your counselors will assist and support you, and our PACE team, we are here for you, parents and guardians. Make sure you have make sure you are exuding a positive impact on others, and make sure your physical and mental health is together. So I thank you. And now I'm going to turn it back over to Ms. Monzoon and Ms. Teresa Eraguin, so we can end out our session with questions and answers.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Burton, for providing us this information. We're going to go into the Q&A. Maybe we can share screen on that slide. And we have important questions from our parents. Thank you for being here. So what information can you give me regarding students that are in special education classes when it applies to college and universities? That's a question from one of our parents.
Mr. Aguirre, are you speaking? Oh,
yeah, I can address some of that. So the application process will be the same, regardless if you have an IEP, regardless if you're in general education. However, when you get to college, the hope and expectation is that the services and the supports you received in high school carry over when you get to your college. The big difference is the law changes, right? Once you go from high school to college or university. But the biggest change is that in a high school setting, the student has like an IEP, a case carrier, there's a special education teacher, there's a whole team of people who are supporting that student and calling them out of class and making sure they accomplish this task and fill this form out. Whereas in college, it's up to the student to be a little bit more proactive and maybe take their IEP to the offices of students with disabilities and say, hey, this is my IEP. Can I receive, the same supports or the same accommodations? So the onus falls on the student in college versus in high school. And that's the biggest change. And then they can always talk to an academic advisor. Each campus has an office support or dedicated to students with disabilities. So make sure that that's one of the first things the student learns when they get to their campus is, where do I go and who do I talk to help me get support with this?
Thank you, Mr. Aguirre. So I want to say this, that I taught at West LA for a semester, and I had students in my class who had an IEP, and they just after class brought me their IEP. So I was able to look at how I could accommodate for those students. So that was very important. And I like what he said, students with IEPs will have to advocate for themselves because they don't like automatically roll over, but the students would have to advocate for themselves.
Another question is, at what grade can students begin to apply for scholarships?
The grade they're in. The grade that they are in now is the best time to apply for scholarships. That's my recommendation. I know historically, generally, students wait till 12th grade, and most of the scholarships will be like, hey, if you're going to start college next year, apply now. But there are so many opportunities. They're a little bit more hidden. You have to do a little bit more work, but starting as early as middle school and every grade level up until senior year. So whatever grade you're in is the best grade to start searching for scholarships.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. We have other questions. One is about, what is the family income maximum to be eligible for financial aid?
Well, if the maximum number for financial aid, I don't want to say that. It's still good to apply. It's apply because there's a lot of things that's connected to financial aid. Because they'll say like, oh, if you didn't apply for FAFSA, then you can get, their income may be too high. Like there was a year that my mother's income was too high, but I was still able to go in and talk to my financial aid advisor, and she was still able to pull up to give me work study because I wasn't able to work a real job and go to school. I wasn't able to get like scholarships in 1 year in grants, but I was able to have work study, or there was somebody that turned down their work study or didn't show up for work study. So if you don't even fill out your financial aid, they don't even know you exist. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I hate to say that. So filling out that financial aid allows the school to see you in the system. And I'm just speaking on, when I was in college, and I would sit in the financial aid office like, y'all gonna give me something. Y'all will give me some kind of money. I'm here, I'm present. I want something. So just, they have to be like, I was one of those, I was in the face. And my parents, I went to school in Tennessee and I lived in Louisiana. And my mom was in the financial aid office like, look, we don't have, help us. And they eventually would come around and give money. So you just have to be an advocate and stick to your guns. Or maybe that's not a good word to say, but stick to it.
Thank you so much. So a question about time, when or grade, when they should start, right? The child is in the 7th grade. What can she do, the parent, to support her child, to encourage her child to attend college or on her path, set her on her path to university?
Oh, that is an excellent question. I'm a parent of a 12-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 5-year-old. So what I do is I make it a natural conversation. If you're watching, like, I'm just saying YouTube or television, and you may see a commercial come on about college, and I'll be like, hey, Jillian, hey, Justine, that's my kids. Are you interested in college? What kind of college you want to attend? Or on Saturdays when college football comes on, I'm a big football fan. So we like the colors. And I'll ask my daughter, you like those colors? You just have to make the conversation real natural. And don't push them. You got to go to college. You got to go to college. You got to go to college. And, I'll tell my daughter, don't you like those cheerleaders? Oh, they look awesome. Do you like that band? Oh, that sound, you have to make it very natural. And also, when it comes to, I thought you was going to say something about the essay. My son is 7 years old right now, and I have a daughter with Down syndrome, and he's starting to write now about his feelings about how does it feel to be a sibling of someone with Down syndrome. So I'm preparing him now. He doesn't know that I'm setting him up for his college essay. And you just find things like that to let them write about and make them feel ownership of their work. And that's what I go home and do. And I try to make it as fun as possible, but make it natural. Just make it natural. Mr. Aguirre, do you have anything you want to add?
I think you hit the nail on the head. Is just make it like a daily part of your conversation. Don't feel like you have to force like, what major are you interested in? But yeah, talking about football. And I think even more important, what you talked about is having the students, your children, I should say, talk about themselves. Sometimes we don't wait until they wait until 12th grade when they have to answer these personal statements and they don't know how to address them. So asking above and beyond, not just like, oh, what did you learn today? But like, I think one question I like to ask students is, what problems do you want to solve in the future? They all know like there's issues in their community, in their household, in the world. And so getting them to think about the solutions they want to have can lead them to a college or a major or a career. So I think, just making that a natural conversation, and 7th grade is the best time to start, because it's middle school, they're getting closer to high school. So I think, making it a daily part of your natural conversation is the best thing you can do.
I agree.
May I interject, Dr. Burton?
Sure.
Just
We're having
one thing.
conversation. Sure.
Wonderful. So another thing that you can do that has been really helpful, and I've got a college graduate son, is take them to visit universities and colleges on the weekends whenever you have time. We have a ton of universities in the LA County, Orange County, even up in Ventura County area. You can make a family trip on a Saturday or Sunday and just have them breathe the college air, have them walk around and feel academia all around them, the energy that's on campuses, and that will motivate them. And they'll want, I know that was something that inspired me, was visiting colleges at a young age with friends whose brothers and sisters were older, and they would take us, and it would convince me that I want to do this when I'm older. I want to be in this environment. So that's very, very helpful, and gives them a concrete way of getting exposed to colleges as a family field trip. And there's a ton of them you can go to. If you can, take a flight, and if you have those opportunities to visit campuses in other states, those are also very beneficial to your children. Thank you for letting me interject.
No problem. That is, he's telling the truth. That's
Dr. Burton.
Yes.
May I add on to what my colleague was saying, and just let everybody know that USC is in local district central, and it is an open campus. And you can definitely go there and get a feel of what college is like. They have lots of events there for families. I am a proud USC graduate, and I definitely recommend that field trip. It's something that I did. I lived in Southern California, and I went there when I was in high school, and it definitely got me to want to go there.
Alex, you and my 73-year-old father as well, because every time he comes to visit LA, he goes to USC. He's, I think 72 or 73. He went to the admission office. I was like, Dad, what are you doing? You going to college? He was like, this is my dream, but I never was able to go to this college. So I just wanted an application. So for him to be 70 years old, and every time he comes to visit me, he goes on USC campus. So yes, I like what Mr. Contreras said. Breathing that air, that college air, it just feels different, So yes, please take your kids on college trips. If it's just a walk, take the train or the bus. They're usually free. Get on it and just go on down and check it out. A family field trip. Thank you, Mr.
And a drive up the coast to UCSB is also beautiful. I do highly recommend UCSB.
I'm a UCSB grad, so I have to agree.
I love the school you work at, Contreras. That's a beautiful name for a high school.
So look, all wonderful conversation. We have a couple more questions from the parents that we would want to address. So thank you so much. a question about reminding parents that you will be able to listen to this presentation, view this presentation in our local district central YouTube channel. But additionally, Dr. Burton, can you reiterate the application process? So who can help our parents? Who can help the children? Who is the staff that we have available to support our parents and their children?
The academic and the college counselors, they are there to help our children or our students with the application process. Last year we had a, I don't know how to call it. It was like a boot camp where we were helping parents and kids with FAFSA, but I don't know if we're going to do it again this year, but the application process can be helped with academic counselors. Just contact your students' academic counselors and make appointments.
And then also some schools do have programs like Gear Up or EAOP or TRIO, and those are all built to support students with their college plans. So if you're not sure if those programs exist on your campus, reach out to your counselor and ask, what do we have on our site?
Thank you so much.
And I want to, excuse me, Ms. Mazun. And then if one campus doesn't have something, then ask that counselor what another campus does, because we're all one family, we're one community, and we need to work together.
Mm-hmm. Correct. So they were impressed with the senior college journals, and they would like to know how they can get a hold of one. I think that the presentation has the link to it, right, Dr. Burton?
Yes, it does have the link, but let me ask Mr. Robert Aguirre, did they pass those out at the schools yet?
No, not yet. We told them I thought we were getting them this week, but fingers crossed, we'll be passing them out soon.
Okay, so I know that they're coming to each school. I read that on the website that they were coming to each school, but they have it electronically. It's on the link.
Thank you so much. Unless there are other questions that my colleagues see, I believe that I don't see any more.
I saw one question. A parent asked, their student is in college and can they still apply for community scholarship? Yes, you can. There's sorority and fraternity scholarships, all that come just for kids that's sophomores, kids that are juniors, kids that are seniors. So there's always a plethora of scholarships. You just have to look for them.
Mm-hmm. So another question about a parent with a child with an IEP, specifically autism. I think that the question you answered, but could you reiterate, Dr. Burton or Mr. Aguirre, regarding our students with IEPs and the supports they do get for college admissions or when in college, or scholarships for them?
So as far as like the services they'll receive, that's up to each college to decide. But they won't know what services to provide them unless the student takes in their IEP to the office and says, this is what I received in high school, what can transfer over? So again, the most important thing they can do is find that office. They have different names like Office of Students with Disabilities or Office of Student Services, but that should be one of the things that the student and parent should look for when applying to schools. And as terms like we talk about college match and college fit, also take that into consideration. Is this school known for supporting their students who have disabilities or who need accommodations?
Mm-hmm. That's correct. So can they just apply to one scholarship, or can they apply to many? That's a question.
They better apply to as many as they can. And there is no limit to the amount of money that you can receive in terms of scholarships. So if you're applying to one, you might as well apply to, keep sending those applications out, make a monthly goal for yourself. By this semester, I want to apply to 10 scholarships. Next semester, I want to apply to 10 more. There is no limit to there's no limit to the number of scholarships you can apply for or receive, really.
Thank you. So we're coming to the end of our hour. It's 4:30 right now. Parents, again, you will be able to view this presentation in LDC Central YouTube channel. So look for, just Google it and search for it. You'll find us there. And Dr. Burton and Mr. Aguirre, thank you so much for coming and for sharing this information with our parents. We are so grateful. They are grateful too, I know. And we will invite you once again. Believe me, we will want you back, Dr. Burton. What happens after you have been accepted, right? What parents should do. So yes, there's a part 2 to this, right? And we're hoping to have you back with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I wanted to put our email address here so they can contact us if you need anything. Let us know. I work at Lanterman. He's at Robert Aguirre is at Contreras School of Business and Tourism. But if you have a question, that's our email addresses right there, and we are here to serve. So we are here to help.
Thank you.
Yes, even though I'm assigned to this school, I'm here to support all parents. So please
Yes,
reach out
me
to me.
too. Me too.
Appreciate it. Could you click on to the next, just so they can,
Oh.
our parents can have the next one too, please? The next one.
Okay.
So the parents can have our PACE unit staff information, contact information. As you saw, Mr. Javier Contreras and Mr. Campbell are here, our PACE coaches from downtown and HCA. And myself, Vilma Monzon, our administrator, Ms. Teresa Reguin, is with us too. We're here to support you. And we are presenting these parents because you asked for this presentation. So this is the reason we said, no, we have to do it now. Parents were asking for this type of presentation. We are glad that Dr. Burton and Mr. Aguirre were available in short notice to be with us today. Thank you so much. And I believe that will be all from us. Thank you so much. And we will see you next week at 3:30 Tech Talks every Wednesday. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you.